So that's really we have done really most of this largest units uh, in the state of California. Downtown back in '05, '06, '07, every single project we did, the condo, commercial, residential, mixed use projects. We prepared budgets for all of those, including Ritz Carlton and JW Marriott, which are LA Live building. We're still doing their budgets because it's very complicated, and Marriott and does not have staff to get into these kind of budgets, the mixed use budget, which is far more difficult than the regular residential budget or a commercial budget. Lately, we have been doing a lot of, believe it or not, commercial or industrial projects because people have come to the sense that it's better to own their own workplace than rent it. Owning your own workplace, you're allowed to take two deductions, and renting it, you only take one deduction. So that's what persuades most people, and that's why it's never been this popular that they are doing a lot of commercial condos. We just got a huge project ba, 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 on only office condominiums, and this is their third project in Long Beach that they're doing. It will be about, I believe, 100 plus units, office units, and a lovely, lovely architectural plan, a masterpiece. So that's the one that they are going to be finishing within the next 5 months, and it will come to market. It's in Long Beach, California. So that's really, if you have any questions or if you want to know specifics of any kind of budget, I think I should be able to answer any question that you may have with starting from filing with the RE, having your CCNRs done and all that kind of good stuff. I know from A to Z in this business.
Vegan,
Yeah.
I do have a question at this time. I hope you don't mind. When you're saying that you do a project, mixed use project with condos and hotels. But if you are doing that, those two entities are totally entirely different in operation and in any settings. Do you have a separate HOA for each of them?
Excellent
Or the same
question.
thing, the same
Okay.
HOA under the same.
No,
way?
no. What the way we do and the way we work with the attorneys on this one, we advise them to, because the let's think about this. The main money bag wants to have a good control,
Yeah.
right?
Right, right.
Okay, all right. So we create a master association and we create a residential association. Now, the master association is the one that makes decisions on quote unquote more important items, purchasing insurance, redoing the roof, what they should do with the exterior, and things of that nature is left with the master association. And based on different methodologies that we use in our budgets, we calculate the residential association's portion of that master budget expense. In other words, if there's a hotel, there, like the one that we just spoke about, there are two hotels, JW Marriott and Ritz Carlton, and there's 224, right? 224 residences. Yeah, LA Live has got 224 residences. So we created a residential budget with all their expenses. There are some items that are 100% charged to residential, such as the residential's private hallways. Master does not have a say on those, unless it's going to be sort of like a construction kind of a deal where where the master wants to make sure that the integrity of the building will remain the same as built. But the other expenses, using different ratios, we charge it to hotel, residential, and the JW Marriott Hotel. So that's how we calculate those.
I see. Yeah. The reason I ask is because I'm in a project where there's a condos and also the commercial shops, and underneath the condos, and then they only have one master HOA, and there's always a problem when they have a meeting.
Okay.
What kind of the charges are allocated to them, and there's always a dispute. So I was just wondering, when you do a separate this kind of development with different interests, you should have a separate HOA. But
One
at
hundred
this
percent
time,
correct.
it's already too late. I don't know how to remedy that.
When did you what is the date the first unit was sold, the residential unit?
Uh,
Approximately.
that's a while back, about 8 years ago.
How many years ago?
Eight.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, ba,
So
ba, 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 ba. So there's only one association,
yeah.
and that is the residential association that probably has got the most power.
Yes, because they have more units. Yeah,
They've got the
and the
majority.
residential, I mean, the commercial, they only have about 6 units in the residential, and they have the 23 units condos.
Okay, okay.
So it's a
Uh,
small project, but nevertheless, it's I think it was a mistake that they only have one.
nobody, even 8 years ago, people did not do that. I don't know who the attorney was that's suggested use that. Who did the
Yeah,
CCNRs?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know the attorney. So
It will be if you have a title company, they will be able to send you a recorded condo plan on the right hand corner. It will tell you the first page right hand corner. It will tell you which firm prepared it.
yeah, I'm sure they.
Yeah.
Okay.
So honestly, nothing is impossible. Um, it will take some cooperation between the residential condominium owners and the commercial owners
Mhm.
to team up together and go through the process. It will be a little costly, but you know what? At the end of the day, you can
Yeah,
sell your units far better.
that's right.
And the commercial at this point, I bet you, is the one that's suffering.
Yeah, that's I'm one of the commercial units.
Okay, okay.
So,
Because we had a project in I can't remember Dr. Dr. Sun's project. That the commercial, there was one huge restaurant, and I think 40 or 50, 40 or something like that units. We did that about 20 years ago. The attorney pushed on having one association. And even with that, I separated the line item for maintaining commercial units needs, such as it was a huge restaurant, and I had left a line. I had put a line item in there to take care of daily sweeping of the area because there were tables outside. Anyway, the residential, because they were more powerful, they said, no, we're not going to do it. Okay,
mhm.
the residential owners, one was a mailman. I mean, what does a mailman understand about a building? I mean, not a whole lot. And on and on different. It was to their benefit to eat the money to make the HOA pay for it, and they used the free money to for their own purposes. So that's why nobody a good account. I mean, a good law firm will not do it that way.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you for comment.
my pleasure.
Sorry to take so much of your time.
Vegan, I have a question.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
when we're, so
Oh,
when
now you're Michelle.
oh, that's weird. Somebody changed me. When we're out selling condos,
Uh-huh.
a lot of times they're looking at the reserve budgets, and these don't necessarily have to be brand new condos, but what do you recommend that agents look for in a reserve, like how much? Because that's really hard for us to determine.
That's correct. That's correct. Because each line item has got a different life cycle than the other one.
Yeah.
So if it's a brand new project, there are some standard numbers that DRE suggests, which are semi-good numbers that you put in there. There is no percentage that, because I hear this a lot from
Yeah.
brokers or from the bankers, that 10%. Well, that's a false number. That is an uneducated number,
Oh,
because some of the some of the reserves may be 15%, 20%, depending on what they have used on the building, on the reserve items,
yeah.
and some may be 6%, like small lot subdivisions are very small in reserves, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody understands the concept of an attached building, which he's responsible for his roof and he's responsible for the exterior paint. Of course, there are several architectural guidelines in there and restrictions in there. In other words, one of the owners cannot paint his house exterior red, and the other one's the original color was like white. So
Oh,
that kind of a thing. So those restrictions prohibit the future owner or the owners do that. There is really no straight answer
okay.
to that percentage. As I mentioned, we have roofs that live 35 years. We have roofs that live 12 years. So depending, we go through the process of reviewing and analyzing the plans, the architectural plans, and budget for them accordingly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey, Vegan. Hey,
Yes.
this is Steve. So if we have a brand new project, which is the such mixed use,
Mhm.
and you can start from the very scratch, including the generate all the necessary documents for CCNR and the budget. If this is a mixed use with condos, so you can do that.
We stay away from CCNRs
Oh,
because we get most of our recommendations from the attorneys, and I'm licensed in my area. So I will be happy to introduce you some reasonable attorney that has done those jobs before. I know every single attorney. I mean, those who are worth to be known. In the state of California. I will help you find the proper one with your budget, and we will do everything from A to Z on the budget side and on guiding you how it should be run and all that kind of good stuff. And I prefer for the attorney that you may have as of right now, or you may want to hire in future.
So Vegan, so other than the attorney, you have the whole team to do the mixed use project?
I can, if you, I prefer the client to use the professionals that they have used before, if they're happy with them.
Mhm.
If you're not happy with them, I will tell you a solid person or give you one or two solid names that you
Yeah.
could use and shop around and haggle and all that kind of stuff.
Now, sometimes it's more efficient to have the whole team under your control because you have done the many projects before. So if it is possible, so if like for instance, we have a mixed use project, we'll say, hey, Vegan, now why don't you do this? Get it started and then have engineering to study and get architectural designs and budget analysis and all that. I know that you said that you don't work. I mean, you don't have a legal departments to handle the CCNR. But other than that, you're okay with that, the whole process, right?
I'm okay with that whole process. I will have to see what the expectations of the developer is because we are swamped at this point. We have so much budget project that I used to do that. I used to do that a long time ago. I used to do that because we were not this busy.
So
But
you can-
I will be happy to help you from A to Z
I see.
as to what members you should use,
Okay.
who you should hire. I will give you recommendations with the people I've worked with, and I've worked with every single good law firm in the state of
Right.
California.
But your main emphasis is on the budget analysis.
Correct. That's
Okay.
what sells the project. That's what sells
Thank
the
you.
project, and we
Yeah.
analyze that so carefully, and we understand what the market is.
Yeah, that's very important.
And so we prepare a budget that will be suitable and equitable and defendable.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any
Can
other-
I think the Peter asked one crucial question. Will you chip in your expertise from the, should I say, the architecture design stages?
What's the question
Architecture,
again?
when you are doing the entitlement for project, and we start from the conceptual scheme and everything, and usually, you know, the architect and lots of consultants, you know, chip in their opinions. But we never think about have a management company to chip in their expertise on how to do the design. Do you do that?
I
on
do
the
not.
initial-
I
Oh,
do
you-
not, because we're so busy doing our own stuff that I leave that to a good architect, 2 or 3. There are several good architects in the state of California and in Los Angeles that do unreally beautiful projects. Now I can have a look at it and give you some opinions on whether you should change some of these common areas and put it as a sellable area so you can make more money, and that I can do. But going into the detail, I do not. I let some good architect who has done this several times before do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you can chip in your opinions after you review the design.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Do we have any other questions? We do have about 15 minutes. Vegan does have to zoom off at 10:45. So we have a little bit more time. Please utilize this time since we have him here right now.
I have a question, Bijan.
Yes, Tom.
So, for example, existing projects that requires a revamp in terms of reanalyzing, you know, the HOA, the common interest, the rentals. Is that something you also work for existing that needs they need you know, like if it's something that you can recommend for a prospect that they'll be interested in purchasing a project?
You bet.
Yeah.
We do.
You do.
You bet.
Okay. So yeah, that's where your expertise comes. That you can recommend the prospect buyer this project. You know, you can do this, you can do that, you can increment the HOA because of this or that. That's basically what you do as well?
That I do know because I've done it myself, and I've done developing myself back in the past when I was a young man.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question. When you start the, like on a new build, when you start the DRE process, I know you've done a lot of back work. How long does it take to get approval through the DRE?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Uh, uh, there are three stages. You
Okay.
get a pink report,
Yeah.
you get a yellow report, and you get a white report. For the pink report, you really do not need a whole lot of information to get that pink report. You need $500 check and some experience about the project, some definition of the project and things of that nature. DRE allows you to get that pink report. With pink report, you're taking non-binding deposits. Somebody comes over, gives you $5,000. You cannot cash that check. You will just hold it in your files until the guy says, yes, I do want it, and things of that nature. The second stage is the yellow report. For DRE to be able to issue a yellow report, uh, the two items need to be substantially completed: the CCNRs and the budget. If the CCNRs and the budget are substantially completed, and that's after the developer consults with us and consults with the attorney, you can get a safe yellow report, which means nobody can come back to you and take out their deposit and things of that nature. With the yellow report, you can take the deposit that you have and use it for your construction. And then the final stage is public report. DRE's regulation require a 60-day review. In other words, after the documents have been filed with the DRE, they want 60 days. They have two departments. One is the budget department. The other one is the subdivision department. The budget department reviews the budgets, reads the CCNRs and things of that nature to make sure that they're consistent. Of course, we do that ourselves because we're in line for getting sued for not reading the CCNRs or things of that nature. And then the budget department issues an approval of the budget, or says, well, this needs to be changed to this, and then you argue with them. A bunch of good in both departments, about a bunch of good employees have retired, so they have a bunch of rookies out there, and it has created problems for us. It has created problems for the attorneys. But we've got to be patient. We have no other choice, but everything is possible.
Vegan, so for those three reports, so, like the pink report and yellow report, they are not a prerequisites for getting a white report, right? You can go strictly to white report and
100% correct, and that's something that I advise some of, not on every project, of course. If I sort of see that it's a project that you don't really need to waste $1,000,
Right.
then I tell them you don't need that.
Right.
Go for the white, and that's it. Because
Yeah.
on the white you can close your escrows every day.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
clarifying.
my pleasure. And if you want to close, make sure this is what you guys need to do. Make sure that you coordinate everything, the closings, to be the first week of the first month, because the month following the close of the first escrow, the developer is liable for every single unsold units HOA dues. So that's something you've got to make sure that you do coordinate everything to close that first, so he doesn't have to pay HOA dues on units that are unsold. On some big projects, that sums up to a lot of money. Now, there's another way of controlling that is by phasing the project. DRE allows you to phase the project. The only distinction is that the buildings that we're phasing have got to be separate. In other words, if you have a 90 unit, 95 unit project, and if you want to phase it, you've got to phase it based on the number of buildings that you have. Because DRE's assumption is, what if you build the first phase and the developer goes broke.
Mhm.
So that's their assumption of allowing you to phase. So that's another way of reducing the extra money that the developer has got to pay for unsold units.
Yeah, Vegan, I have one question. When you mean the facing the project, yeah, we know usually if you build say a huge, for your example, is 90 units. We like to face into say 30, 30, and 30, you know.
Okay,
But how do you do that? How do you face in that?
okay. Uh, if you have 30, 30, 30, each 30 have got to be in separate buildings, standalone buildings.
Oh,
That we can do. That DRE will allow us to do.
how about the
You cannot phase a one standalone building in like 3 layers or 4 layers or 5 layers.
oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's clear problem. So if you have a standalone, let's say 90 units and have some retail down and 90 up, you cannot say, okay, if that is say 6 stories, the first first 2 floors is the one phase, next 2 floors is the second phase, and third 2 floors is the third phase. You cannot do that.
On commercial units, you can. On residential units, you cannot.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Vegan, right? Now if you have a project that you want to keep as a rental, even though it's a condominium project, as long as you don't sell the first unit of the condo, you don't have to have
Activate the
you
HOA.
don't have to pay the HOA fees, right?
100% correct. Now
Yeah,
you've got to make
so you have to
sure.
wait until you sell this first condo in order
Right.
to
Yeah.
do the reserve money and also the HOA fees into the
Right. Right.
HOA account.
The HOA gets born after the first unit is closed. Before that, it's a bunch of papers.
All right, right. So
You
even
follow
though
me?
you have
It
the
gets
step,
activated with the first closing of the escrow.
okay. So even though you have all the paperwork done, you know, your HOA set up and the CC now everything the ready, you don't have to put in the HOA fees before the first unit of the condo is sold.
100% correct. Except for you've got to be careful that you do not let that public report expire. And they
Oh, yeah.
expire in 5 years, one day after 5 years.
Okay,
From the
can you
date
extend it?
yes, you can, as
Okay.
many times as you want.
Okay,
And you don't need CCNRs. You only need a budget, and we will have to do a budget and reserve study. The
okay,
CCNRs are still going to be good.
okay, okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Condo plans are still going to be, everything will be good except for the items that deal with the money, such as the rates have gone up about 40% last, I would say 8 months or 9 months. Utility rates is what I'm talking about. On top of all the other rates that, we have experienced, we all have got experience, we buy every day. So you just make sure that do not let that expire because that is worth 40% of your building.
Yeah, thank you.
Vegan, when the new construction is being let, I vaguely remember that the purchaser had to pay some funds towards the reserve account. Am I thinking wrong, or
No,
are there?
you're not. You're not
Okay.
thinking wrong.
Yeah, okay.
What they are doing lately, more lately than before, is they take some what they call seed capital, which is not HOA dues, which is not reserves. It is just the money because HOA is a corporation that is born. Now we have bankers who we have several hundreds of accounts with HOA accounts with. They will open an account they've got by law, you've got to have two accounts for every HOA. One is the operating account, the other one is the reserve account. They will open the two accounts, hoping that this escrow will close soon, so we can start depositing them. But they will legally open an account with zero balance. But that's of course only for us. I'm sure that if you have clients, that may be the case. And the seed capital, it's a formula. Some people like to take 2 months worth of HOA dues as that seed capital, and some people take 3. Some people take a round number, $500, $600, depending on the dollar amount of the budget, average budget. That's what they use.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Again, I understand, I understand that even before the first unit of the condo is sold, you have to put the reserve money into the escrow.
Okay.
In order to.
You're talking about conversions.
Not conversion, just brand new condo,
Incorrect.
correct?
Incorrect.
So, the brand new condo, you don't have to put in the
Zero.
reserve amount?
Zero. Unless you want to donate that to the future buyers, but after doing 5,500 projects, we've never seen one donating money.
Ah, I mean, I don't know, I saw a project that they require.
Well, maybe it was an older project.
It was
2 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, older projects, they do. We have to calculate a reserve amount that is called a deficit, which means you have enjoyed collecting your rents for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and now you want to sell it. The government gives you two choices. He says either you have to put the reserve based on the current market for the items that age, such as roof, such as exterior paint, such as several other items that age. Or it doesn't tell you you cannot sell it like that. It tells you can sell it like that, but Vegan prepares a budget based on the higher numbers. Why? Because the building is already depreciated.
Yeah.
So, and then you cannot almost sell the project.
Yeah, I think you're
So
right.
every single conversion developer gets us to a reserve study, and then they put the money in, including myself. I purchased a property, a 14-unit property, about 18 years ago, and there was a deficit of like $57,000. Well, I put it in because I did not want any headaches in the future. That was the best 57,000 I've ever spent in my life.
Yeah, I think you're right, because this particular building that I'm talking about is 5 years old, and they have been collecting rent for the first 5 years, and now they want to finalize
Market.
the white report and then sell the condo. And then when they do that, they have to put in the budget. They have to get the final white report before they can sell the condo.
Sell it. Correct, sir.
Thank you.
Correct,
Thank
sir.
you
My
for
pleasure.
very
My
good
pleasure.
information.
Good.
I have another question, Bijan.
Yes.
So from the budget's point of view, when you're dealing with properties that are rezoned, that they were rezoned, like for example, a fitness center that was converted into something else, like condominiums, or a shopping center converted into other uses. What are, from the budget's point of view, what are the challenges when you have to deal with rezoning from the budget's point of view?
Well, we first want to make sure that the client does not waste his money or does not burn his money on us. If we have other projects in the same area, we tell them what the other guy did. If we don't, we prefer to have the zoning accepted by the city or by the whoever the entity is that allows the thing to build, and then we start the budget process based on the converted version of that piece of land
Right, right.
that you want to, let's say, we've had several cases like that, several cases.
Do you have an example whether you have done, I mean, any recent project that you calculate?
Recent, I don't know, but we've done some projects in some of, I can't remember where, that they had some smaller shops and they wanted to build rentable residential, and
Right,
the city allowed them to do that.
okay,
So it was rezoned, and they built a residential building right next to the other larger retails that they wanted to keep, sort of the anchor tenants.
yes, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is very, you keep hearing this, very common because of the pandemic. A lot of offices, building, they were converting to apartments and so on, and you know, it has to be rezoned.
correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, I think, Vegan, I think your time is up, right? You have to leave
I'm,
at 45?
yeah, yep. Thank you very much, Ruben.
No, thank you.
You're a
Thank
handsome
you.
man, by the way.
As you are.
But
As you.
Michelle is beautiful. You're handsome, okay?
Thank you so much. This was so informative.
My pleasure,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure, my
And
pleasure.
we'll record this, send it out, and we'll send out Vegan's information. So should you need his services, we'll send you all his information, his contact information as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Lovely
you again.
speaking with all of you.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Vegan.
great
Bye.
day. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. All righty.
Hello?
Yes, Peter?
Yeah, I have a reminder for everybody before we adjourn the meeting. Well, I should know that our big boss, James Chow, has a big project in San Gabriel city, and this was the biggest project ever for that city. And they have a groundbreaking ceremony on February the 8th at 10:30 a.m. So I hope everybody can come and attend the ceremony, and it will be fun. They have food and drink and a little chit-chatting, and that should be fun. And also it's a good opportunity for the agents to be acquainted with the team of that development, so that later on they can have access to listings or sellings of those that project. And it will be a very good opportunity to get involved with the commercial project like that. This is just a phenomenal, you know. It's $125 million project, and it consists of more than 200 condos and a lot of shops downstairs. And it will be a beautiful project and a very good opportunity for all the agents in Coldwell Banker, Georgia. So I hope you can come. Okay.
All right. I think, Peter, you'll send that out to everybody.
Yeah, I did already, but then I will remind them before the event one more time, maybe two actually.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I hope to see
If
you all there.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can call me and I can guide you into it.
One last reminder before everybody goes, we do have a lunch and learn today at 1 p.m. with Nicole and Yvonne from Fidelity National Title. It's regarding macro farming. So if you are interested in learning about the latest and greatest of farming, please, it'll be in person. But if you cannot attend, the Zoom link went out this morning. So 1 o'clock today, okay? All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.